Hi, I'm Kevin, and welcome back to Generation Jones. For the last few days, we've been looking at the topic of loneliness and discussing just how hard it can be to make new friends, especially in our adult years. Today, I'd like to discuss some tips on making friends as an adult. And these tips will help us even if it doesn't come naturally to us or makes us feel a bit awkward. These tips I found originally came from a website called Wondermind, and it was written by author Madeline Howard back in September of 2022. The article starts out by saying, if you've been wondering how to make friends as an adult, you're definitely not alone. You're in good company. After we've graduated from high school or college, we're pretty much catapulted into a lifestyle that largely revolves around working all the time. And that often means that we lose the close-knit social circle that's easily formed when we're just steps away from friends in a dorm room or are on the same sports team. According to clinical psychologist Jamie Zuckerman, it's not surprising that people become lonelier as they age. She says we often mourn the relationships that we used to have during our youth and even during our childhood. As adults, the amount of time we have in a day, or even on a weekend, to just hang out is at an all-time low, especially if you have children. Dr. Zuckerman says that when we do have spare time, when we do have a moment to spare, we're most likely doing household chores or catching up on some well-deserved rest at home, rather than seeking out social time away from the house. And all these factors can leave our circle of friends significantly smaller as we get older. Dr. Zuckerman says it becomes harder to find people to be friends with like you would if you were 20 years old. Dr. Zuckerman explains that social media has a way of making us all feel even worse about this. People think everyone else out there is out and about and having a good time while we're at home sitting there mindlessly scrolling on our cell phones. But here's a newsflash. They're not. They're likely at home stuck on their phones too. Well, here's how you can make friends as a whole adult, according to a psychologist. The first tip is edit your friendships. Take an inventory. Sometimes people mourn friends that may not even mesh with their current lifestyle or value systems, and that's normal. But since we have less time to spare as grown people, it's important that we prioritize quality of friends over quantity of friends. Consider the fact that your free time is finite. There's only so much of it to go around. So if you're holding on to or feeling guilty about neglecting friendships that aren't even fulfilling you, you have less room for friends who have more to offer, and even friends who could benefit from your company as well. So, before you start looking for new best friends, audit your current relationships by asking yourself, what do I value? How have my values changed since I started hanging out with this person? Is our current friendship in line with those values, with the things I think are important? If not, maybe it's time to step back and make space for people who appreciate the things that are important to you now. The second tip on our list is join a club or sports league. Joining a pottery or basketball club can help us meet people with similar interests. While a deep friendship might not be established on a love of ceramics alone, building new acquaintances and friends group can be helpful if we're craving general social interaction. And number 3 is go out of your way to do things that you don't normally do. Breaking out of your comfort zone might help you interact with new people, potential new friends. Think about activities that you've always wanted to try but never have. Could be as simple as taking your dog to a new coffee shop on the weekend. They say that dogs are friend magnets. Maybe you finally will swing by that book club that your friend works in. You could also just spark up a conversation with regulars that you cross paths with at the gym, the dog park, the library, or wherever. Dr. Zuckerman suggests that we start small. The number 4 tip on the list is embrace those soft connections. You don't have to be close friends with everybody. It's important to differentiate between friendship and acquaintance, close friends and social friends. There are different levels of friendship. You could have your dog walking friend, you can have your tennis friends. All of these people offer up social interaction, which can make you feel good, even if they don't feel like your closest friend. Why? Well, Dr. Zuckerman says that it's exhausting to have deep connections with too many people, and people can serve different purposes in your life. So maybe you're not spilling your soul to your recreational league teammate, but you will go to them if you feel like kicking the soccer ball around. A connection is a connection. Number 5 is don't bank on one bestie. Don't bank on one best friend. Who doesn't love the idea of having that one best friend you spend all your time with? But since older usually translate to busier, most adults just don't have the bandwidth for that setup. So, if you put all your eggs into one basket for one person, they may not be able to give you all that you need emotionally. And that could leave you feeling hurt if your one best friend isn't available for you. If and when that does happen, try not to view it as rejection. This doesn't necessarily mean that you and your best friend are any less close. It just could mean that the logistics of your friendship aren't working out at the moment. Maybe they're shifting a little. While this new dynamic might feel hurtful, try to use the new freed time to invest in a friendship with someone else that you've been wanting to build a deeper connection with, but haven't had the time so far. Number 6, don't take what you see on social media at face value. Remember, Dr. Zuckerman says the socials are rigged. Social media is engineered for you to feel left out, to feel like you're not doing something that other people are doing. So try not to compare the relationships you have with the ones that you see online, especially if it feels like your new friends are having fun without you. The truth is that they likely value your presence in their lives, even if you're not hanging out together 24/7. And taking it personally can just make you feel even worse about your current social scenario and inhibit all the hard work you're putting into building your relationships already. Number 7 is join interesting groups on social media. If you feel like you don't have much time for friends outside of work or other responsibilities, consider making virtual connections through social media groups that are related to your own personal interests. For example, if you like hiking, join a hiking Facebook group or follow a hiking TikTok page. You could also use social media as a jumping off point for developing friendships with people you follow. Reply to people's stories if they post about activities that you're interested in, or leave comments on their posts. Talk to and engage with people online and socialize with people that way. Number 8 is have a platonic date night. We're not talking about a romantic date, but a platonic date night. Ask out a person with whom you would like to build a friendship. Have 1 or 2 nights a week that is your social night with friends. Schedule it as a commitment and plan something fun, like a movie night or trying a new restaurant with someone that you'd like to be a new friend with. Not up to going out at night? We'll try lunch or have an afternoon coffee. Dr. Zuckerman says all that matters is that you make building new friendships a priority throughout your week in a way that holds you accountable. There are 2 more tips on our list, and number 9 is avoid canceling at all costs. While you might be inclined to send a text saying, "Hey, I'm feeling so wiped out, I'm not going to be able to make it tonight," avoid doing so with those budding new friendships. After all, you made these plans for a reason. Chances are you will have a good time. Now, obviously, if you really just can't, make sure in the moment you pick an alternative date and then stick to it. It shows you care and that you're generally looking forward to hanging out. And the last tip is number 10, ditch texting for video calls instead. The last tip on this article says that if you're someone who usually talks to your friends and other connections through texting or social media direct messages, try switching up how you communicate. Go out of your comfort zone and do FaceTime or WhatsApp video instead of text. It might sound ridiculous, but face-to-face context can really do a lot to help you feel less isolated. That's because one-on-one time, even if it's digital, can make both people feel more present and engaged. And it shows that you're making this new friendship a priority. And who doesn't want to be prioritized? Well, these have been 10 tips on making new friendship as busy adults. It might feel awkward. It might feel difficult to find the time, but it's worth the effort. And our lives are much richer, and our mental health can improve by leaps and bounds if we have healthy, positive friendships and have consistent interaction with our friends. Remember, there are different levels of friendships. Not everyone is going to be our best friend, but the different levels of friendships all play an important role in our emotional well-being. Thank you so much for watching the video today. If you've liked it, please give it a thumbs up by clicking the like button down below. And please consider subscribing to the channel. It would help me tremendously. And until next time, I hope you're able to renew an old friendship and make a new one. And also, be on the lookout for someone who needs a friend today. I hope we can get together again really soon. Till then, take care.